Hey everyone, ready to get sweaty? We're diving deep into the Yoga 6 hot yoga sequence today.
Nice.
So you want to know more about what this sequence actually is, and we've got a bunch of cool stuff to help us break it all down.
Okay.
We found this awesome YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
It's an instructor-led sequence.
Right.
We also have info on the Yoga 6 website about their classes.
Mm-hmm.
And to top it off, we've got a blog post, like a personal review of someone's experience at Yoga 6.
That's awesome. You know, it's really interesting that you picked a set sequence to look at.
Oh, yeah.
Having that roadmap for your practice, knowing what's coming up next,
Yeah.
can be pretty freeing.
I can see that.
You know, you don't have to think, okay, what's the next pose?
Yeah.
You can just like really sink into it.
Yeah, right.
Plus, Yoga 6 is super popular, so this is sort of a glimpse into what so many people are experiencing out there.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Lucky for us, there's this YouTube video by Ariel. And she actually got special permission from Yoga 6 to teach this online.
Oh, wow.
So we're seeing the real deal here.
Nice.
It all starts off with a few breaths in child's pose.
Mm-hmm.
But then, boom, right into revolve triangle.
Starting strong.
Yeah.
You know, for those who may not be familiar, revolve triangle is a standing twist.
Yeah.
Reaching forward with one hand, up with the other. It's all about balance, core strength, flexibility.
Oh my gosh.
It's a good taste of what Yoga 6 is about.
Okay, I'm already a little intimidated.
Yeah.
But Ariel keeps saying this phrase, progress, not perfection.
Oh, I love that.
Which I love, and she shows modifications for almost every pose.
They're
So
not good.
that makes me feel a lot better.
Yeah, modifications are key, especially in a heated room.
Yeah.
You always want to listen to your body.
Right.
You don't want to push too far,
Yeah.
even though sometimes that heat can make you feel extra bendy.
Oh, yeah.
And you just got to be careful.
For sure. Speaking of heat, the next pose is lizard,
Mhm.
which Ariel describes as a deep hip opener. Anyone else feeling that in their hamstrings just thinking about it?
Oh, for sure. Hip openers are so essential for overall flexibility.
Yeah.
They can really help prevent injuries, especially if you sit a lot.
Right.
Lizard also strengthens your quads and your core, so it's a real powerhouse pose.
Wow.
And don't hesitate to modify,
Yeah.
like we said.
Exactly. Next, we flow into Warrior 2,
Okay.
which always makes me feel really strong, really grounded.
Yeah.
And Ariel really emphasizes pushing through the feet, engaging those legs.
It's interesting how Yoga 6 blends that physical and mental aspect of yoga.
Yeah.
And Warrior 2 requires effort and strength,
Yeah.
but it also invites you to find that inner stillness,
Yeah.
that balance between effort and ease.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So from Warrior 2, we move into extended side angle.
Nice. One of my favorites.
A deep side stretch.
Yeah.
It opens up the chest and shoulders. I can practically feel my breath getting deeper just thinking about it.
Extended side angle is another multitasking pose. Really? It strengthens your legs, stretches those hips and hamstrings, improves spinal mobility. It's also great for building stamina and focus.
Wow, so much in one.
Yeah.
The next one's half moon pose.
Okay.
And balancing on one leg, let me tell you, always a challenge.
It's hard.
Definitely builds core strength and stability, and maybe a little confidence too.
Half moon requires so much from your body.
Right.
Strength, balance, focus.
Yeah.
No wonder it feels so rewarding when you finally find that stability. It's a physical and mental victory all in one.
I love that. Okay, get ready to wring yourself out because we're moving into a series of twists.
Right.
Revolved triangle, again, yes. Revolved half moon and revolved side angle. I'm picturing like a detox happening in my organs right now.
Yeah, twists are fantastic for digestion,
Yeah.
but they offer a great stretch for your spine.
Mm-hmm.
And they can even energize you. It makes sense that they'd be a key part of this dynamic, heated sequence.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, brace yourselves. Crow pose is coming. This arm balance requires some serious core strength and focus.
Oh, yeah.
I have to admit, it always makes me feel like a superhero when I nail it.
I love crow. Crow pose really highlights the strength-building aspect of the sequence.
Yeah.
It challenges your entire body.
Totally.
And it can be so empowering when you finally lift off the ground.
Yes. After crow, we flow through a vinyasa, connecting breath to movement as we transition to downward facing dog.
Ha! Downward dog, my old friend. Always a good stretch for those hamstrings, calves, and shoulders.
It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah.
Downward dog is a great way to reset, reconnect with your breath, lengthen your spine. Plus, it's an inversion, which means your heart is above your head.
Oh, right.
That can help calm your nervous system, improve circulation.
So important.
Yeah.
And now for everyone's favorite, pigeon pose.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready for a deep hip stretch. It can be intense, but but it's amazing for releasing tension in the hips and lower back.
It's fascinating how Yoga 6 builds this sequence.
We've been warming up the body with twists, standing poses, even arm balances, preparing for this deeper hip opener.
Wow, so smart. From pigeon, we move into a gentle back bend, supported bridge pose.
Okay.
Feels so good to open up the chest and shoulders after all that forward folding.
Supported bridge is a beautiful heart opener.
Yeah.
It stretches the front of your body while also calming your nervous system. Plus, it's a great way to counteract all the hunching we do over computers and phones.
Oh, so true. And now for the grand finale, wheel pose. A deep back bend that requires strength, flexibility, and a whole lot of courage. It's exhilarating and a little scary at the same time.
Wheel pose is definitely a peak pose.
Yeah.
You need open shoulders, strong legs, and a willingness to push your boundaries. It's a powerful expression of everything we've been building in this sequence.
I love it. We end the sequence with Savasana, also known as corpse pose. Time to lie on our backs and completely relax, letting all the benefits of the practice sink in.
Savasana is essential for integrating the physical and mental benefits of your practice.
Yes.
It's a time to let go of effort and simply be present in your body.
Wow. Just talking through that sequence has me feeling energized and maybe a little sore already.
I know, right?
What are your initial thoughts on the sequence as a whole?
Well, it's a really well-designed sequence.
Yeah.
It's definitely challenging,
Yeah.
but it incorporates so many different elements. Strength, flexibility, balance, mindfulness. You can really tell that Yoga 6 has put a lot of thought into creating a balanced and dynamic experience.
Absolutely. Okay, so now that we've broken down the sequence itself, let's zoom out a bit and look at Yoga 6 as a studio.
Okay.
How does this hot sequence fit into their overall offerings? What else do they have going on?
Well, on their website, they describe this hot sequence as like a signature class
Okay.
that combines yoga postures synced with your breath,
Mm-hmm.
a fun and challenging balancing series, and dynamic core work.
Oh, wow.
They say it's designed to add energizing fire to your life,
Ooh.
all in a heated practice room, of course.
Of course, yeah. That definitely tracks with what we saw in the video. Sweaty, dynamic.
Yeah,
Definitely felt the fire afterwards.
for sure.
I'm curious about this whole energizing fire thing.
Yeah.
Like, what's the connection there?
Well, the website also mentions that this sequence is meant to leave you feeling perfectly balanced inside and out from bottom to top.
Interesting.
So it's not just about physical intensity. They're aiming for a more holistic experience.
You know, I was thinking about that when we were talking about the breath work
Yeah.
woven throughout the sequence.
Yeah,
Deep conscious breathing can really calm your nervous system.
absolutely. Yeah,
Maybe that's part of how they're creating that inner balance.
totally. And this hot sequence is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Yoga 6 actually offers 6 different core class types.
Oh, wow.
They've got slower pace flows, restorative classes, even sculpt classes that blend yoga with strength training.
Oh, cool.
So variety seems to be a big part of their approach.
Speaking of variety, that reminds me of something the blog reviewer mentioned.
Okay.
They were really into how many different classes Yoga 6 had.
Yeah.
They specifically called out the hot sculpt and flow
Okay.
and restore classes.
That makes sense. It's really smart from a business perspective.
Yeah.
By offering something for everyone, they appeal to a wider audience.
Yeah.
But it's also potentially beneficial for you as a yogi.
Right.
Having those clearly defined class types helps you pick the practice that really aligns with your goals, whether it's building strength, increasing flexibility, or just finding some stress relief.
Right. Yeah. And on their website, they actually explain that each class type has a specific focus and produces specific benefits.
Okay.
For example, they say slow flow builds confidence and familiarity with the poses,
Okay.
while restore focuses on stretching and recovery.
I love that. It's like a menu for your yoga practice.
Totally.
You can choose what you need that day.
Yes. Okay, shifting gears for a second. The blog reviewer also raved about this little touch that Yoga 6 offers,
Okay.
a cold eucalyptus towel at the end of each class.
Oh, nice.
Apparently, it feels amazing after a hot session.
That's such a thoughtful detail. It really speaks to their emphasis on creating a sensory experience,
Yes.
not just a physical workout.
Right.
Little things like that can really elevate the whole experience.
Totally agree. And another detail that stood out to me from the blog was the price point.
Okay.
The reviewer found Yoga 6 to be pretty affordable. especially compared to other boutique studios.
That's awesome. Accessibility is key, right?
Yeah,
Making yoga available to more people.
for sure.
That's never a bad thing.
Absolutely. And they've also made booking classes super convenient. The reviewer mentioned they have an app
Oh, cool.
where you can book with just one click.
It's all about removing barriers.
Yeah.
Making it as easy as possible for people to commit to their practice.
Total.
They also have a late cancellation fee, which, let's be honest,
Yeah,
can be helpful for those of us who need a little extra motivation to actually show up.
for sure. Yeah. Okay, so it's not all sunshine and eucalyptus towels.
Right.
The reviewer did mention a couple of potential downsides.
Okay.
The first one was class times.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they can be limited,
Yeah.
especially for people with a standard 9 to 5 job.
That's a valid concern. Not everyone has the flexibility to make it to a yoga class whenever they want.
Right. And they also said that classes can get pretty full, which can make it hard to have your own space and really spread out.
Yeah, that's the downside of popularity.
Yeah.
But it is something to be aware of if you value a more spacious,
Right.
less crowded practice environment.
So it seems like Yoga 6 has a lot to offer,
Yeah.
but it's important to weigh the pros and cons.
Exactly, yeah. They've clearly created a well-structured system with a variety of classes, an emphasis on the sensory experience, and a focus on accessibility. But like any studio, there are limitations.
Right.
And it's up to you to decide if those align with your needs and preferences.
Okay, so we've deep dived into the Yoga 6 hot sequence itself. We've explored what makes it unique, and we've taken a broader look at Yoga 6 as a studio. Now, I'm curious, after all this, are you feeling ready to try it for yourself? What's standing out to you?
It's a challenging sequence,
Yeah.
but that's also part of the appeal. The heat, the dynamic flow, the focus on strength and flexibility, it all adds up to a potentially, really transformative experience.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm picturing myself trying to rock that crow pose.
Oh, yeah.
What about you? Any poses that particularly stand out to you?
Well, crow is definitely a showstopper,
Yeah.
but honestly, it's the subtle nuances of the sequence that intrigue me. The way they weave together the twists, back bends, and hip openers feels very intentional.
Yeah.
Very balanced.
That makes me think about something we touched on earlier. The whole set sequence versus a more free-flowing practice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there are specific benefits to practicing a sequence like this over and over?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of value in revisiting the same sequence.
Okay.
It allows you to track your progress,
Yeah.
notice subtle shifts in your body, and really just refine your understanding of each pose. It becomes less about figuring out what comes next and more about deepening your experience.
So it's like building a relationship with the sequence itself.
Exactly. And that reminds me of something else that the blog reviewer mentioned that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
The sense of community at Yoga 6.
Oh, right.
They talked about how friendly and welcoming everyone was, both the staff and the other students.
That's so important, especially when you're starting something new.
Yeah.
Feeling supported can make all the difference.
For sure. And it speaks to the bigger picture of yoga as a practice. It's not just about the physical poses, it's about connecting with yourself
Right.
and with others.
Okay, so after this deep dive into the Yoga 6 hot sequence, what's your final takeaway for our listener?
Okay.
Maybe they're thinking about trying it out themselves.
I would say go for it.
Yeah.
But remember, yoga is a journey, not a destination. Whether you try this specific sequence or explore other styles, the most important thing is finding a practice that feels good in your body and mind.
So well said. And don't forget those cold eucalyptus towels.
Oh, yeah.
That might be the deal breaker for me. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. We'll catch you in our next episode.